Long time no YouTube video. So, if this is your first time seeing my beautiful face, my name is Babs, the budgeting coach, and I do content around personal finance, budgeting, saving, investing, debt management, everything around money, sprinkles of lifestyle, sprinkles of a little bit of my life in the Netherlands as a Kenyan living in the diaspora. And if all this sounds like things you could be interested in, please stick around. And today I want to talk about TVM. And for those who may not know what TVM is, TVM means time value of money. And why is TVM a topic that needs to be of concern to you? So I had a recent session with a friend of mine and we were talking about retirement planning. We were talking about planning for our kids' futures in terms of school fees and all these nice things. But it's funny how our parents used to do it, of course, without all this system, but they did it in a way that worked for them. But now with all these resources that we have now, we have no excuse not to be able to plan adequately for our future. And this video is for those people who would like to understand how your decisions now would influence and can influence your future and how to go about determining how to do that for you and your family. And if that sounds like interesting stuff, please stick around. So the concept of time value of money goes very much hand in hand with inflation. We see all the time when people say, unasema you're saving this much and have you considered inflation? Blah, blah, blah. Well, for this video, we are considering inflation because time value of money is cousins or goes hand in hand with inflation. So what do we mean by time value of money? Let's define it. And like the title says, time value of money. So the value of money, how it changes over time. So what people always say, like, 100 bob today will not be worth 100 bob tomorrow, Or what they say, like, yeah, you want to spend or you're spending 100,000 today on your life expenses, but will 100k be enough for you in the future? Definitely not, because inflation will come into play. And TVM, as an accounting principle, as a finance principle, is able to help you calculate how much that 100k will be worth in the future to be able to survive if you're talking about retirement, or for like school fees, how much you need in school fees for in the next maybe 10 years if your kids are going to be going to uni, how much you need, things like that. Interesting? Tuko pamoja? So when you look at the template, you're seeing that we have the future value formula, which is future value, which is equal to present value times 1 plus interest rates raised to the power n. 1 plus r, the rate, raised to the power n, which is the number of years. Which, for example, in this scenario, you can see from the example, assume you need 50,000 per year to live comfortably today, and you plan to retire in 30 years with an inflation rate of 5%. So this is how the formula works. So now I use it for a Kenyan scenario, right? So current monthly expenses you spend is 150,000 shillings. Annual expenses is 1.8 million. Annual inflation rate 6%. Then in decimals, the number of years until retirement, that we assume the person has 30 more years. So the future value of 150,000 annually is 10,338,284. That's how you calculate it. Ignore the USD and the euro. That's just the same calculation, but for USD and euro. So that's how you ascertain. So basically, you're trying to find the future value of an X, like of a present amount. So for this person, they want to know how much it would be for them to live comfortably on 150,000 in the future. How much would that be? But this is annual. The 10,333 is annual. So if you want to know for 1 month, is you take it again and you divide by 12, and it's basically 861,524. But this is because we assumed inflation is 6% per year. I hope this makes sense. So let me demonstrate again. So to calculate the present value of the future amount, again, the formula is reversed. Then you find PV is FV over 1 plus R raised to power n. Again, R remains rate of return on investment, N number of years until retirement, PV present value, FV future value. So you reverse the formula. So for example, if you want to determine the future value, you put the 10 million. So that's the future value that you're looking at. Or even let's put 20 million to 3. And you assume a rate of return of 10%. Number of years until retirement is 30. So it's the present value of 20 million. You need to have 1.1 million So basically what this formula is telling you is if you had 1.1 million right now and lock it in a place where you compound 10% each year, you will have the 20 million in 30 years. So we're going into multiple payments, TVM formulas. So multiple payments means that you're making monthly deposits into an investment where it will be compounded monthly and the rate of return annually for X number of years. So this is what I'm going to show now. So for this scenario, this person was putting away 5,000 every month. Rate of return on the investment was 10% annual rate, and they put away this money for 10 years. So you can see from 5,000 per month for 10 years, you can easily get 1 million. Can you imagine? 1 meter. What? Okay. I don't even have other words, but yeah. So multiple payments, compounding works. This is basically what this is showing. Compounding works, and it's important to look ahead, anticipate, look ahead, and plan accordingly. Now we're going to look at the reverse. That can also determine if you'd like to know how much per month you need to put aside to save a particular amount. So this is what this formula is going to show now in the spreadsheet. So you can see we are trying to calculate the present value of a future amount, and in terms of the number of payments that you, or rather the monthly payment or X amount of payments that you want to make for a particular number of times to be able to determine or get this future amount. So you can either do monthly, weekly, daily, whichever you want. Then it needs to be adjusted. The formula needs to be adjusted as per the rates that you're putting in the money period. So either way, this one is monthly. Monthly is easier. So this person is trying to save 500,000 in 5 years, assuming an interest rate of 8%. You can use the sinking fund formula. So that's the sinking fund formula. You calculate it, put the formula into the box. That's where you see you're supposed to put aside 6,800 approximately per month to make the 500k in 5 years. And that's how simple the formula works. Again, template is available upon request.